On that note, I will start recording. All right. We're just giving everyone another minute to get here. We can do a little bit of review. As a reminder, we're working with HTML today. You guys are going to learn about tags and HTML tags. And then if we can get to it by the end of class, we will be making our Google sites. If not, we'll start those on Monday. Hopefully we'll get there, but no rush, no problem if we don't. We're going to kind of let the class go as paced. Okay. So at the end of class, we talked about on Monday, for those of you who weren't here and haven't watched the webinar, we've been going through how your web browser works when you go on the web page. Well, this is how it works. Somewhere, someone made this HTML document. And this looks like a plain, you'll see exactly what this looks like in just a minute when we make one. But this will be a plain text document with tags and just regular text with your website's content. This document is saved on a server, and a server is like a really, really big computer that's just used to save files on in a certain location. And the hypertext transfer protocol, that HTTP that you can see from up here on the screen, that's the basis for how your computer can access these big websites, these big groups like YouTube, their servers, and you can get the files saved on those servers, and your web browser, your computer software that you use to browse the web, can open those files, and instead of seeing all of this plain text, your web browser is going to go through and translate that plain text into something nice and viewable, and we'll see that today. It will add the formatting in there for you. The formatting designated by this HTML document. And we're going to take a look at that with either Notepad or TextEdit. Okay, so we're going to be working right now with these applications, either Notepad if you're using a Windows machine, or TextEdit if you're using a Mac. If you do not have a plain text application like Notepad or TextEdit, let's say you're using an iPad right now, don't worry, because remember, this is being recorded. So right now you can kind of keep up with what the class is doing and go back later, and at your own pace you can do it on a computer. However, if you do have a Windows computer or your Mac app, I would like you to follow along with me and actually open them. How do we get to TextEdit? I will show you guys in just a second, so don't stress. So go ahead and raise your hand for me if you're planning on following along. Great, great, big crowd, wonderful. Okay, put your hands down. I'll put your hands down. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. We had a question. Hypertext Markup Language. And some people will call it HTML code, but this is the coder and me making this distinguishing this. It's not a coding language. You're not actually writing a computer program. Software developers wrote computer programs to translate that HTML into these visual pages, but HTML is not a programming language. We'll look at programming languages this semester, but this is not one of them. Hi, Callie. Callie, do you have a question? No? Okay, sorry, Callie. Are we going to have to learn coding? Yeah, we're learning coding this semester, Anna. Okay. So, if you go to your file manager on your computer, to your applications, whether you're on a Mac, you can click the little Finder guy, and then on this side menu, Applications, like I'm doing here, and you should be able to find Text Edit, not Text Edit Plus. Correct, Caitlin. That's correct. And then hopefully at another point you'll be able to work with us. But let me think about that. Try to locate Text Edit on your computer. If you are using a Windows machine, I can't show you what you're going to do, but you're going to go into Start. It should be a menu down here where my mouse is, and go to Applications. You can also search on your computer for this. So you go to the search and type in either Notepad for Windows, or go to your search up here and type in Text Edit. And then let me pause my screen for a second. Go ahead and try to find either Notepad or Text Edit on your computer, and raise your hand when you're ready to continue. All right, I went ahead and found this. Let's see if this works. Hold on. Okay. Great. I see a lot of raised hands. I am going to, if you cannot locate Text Edit or Notepad, but you're still using a computer, you can use this practice board, and I'm going to send this out in chat. I think someone just asked me now, but we got to wait for everybody else. A lot of this class is about patience, too, because we're all kind of going at the same speed. Now what do? Just hang out for a second, Josie. Anna, what does Notepad do? Well, Notepad, you can use it to write text files. And Maya, I'm not sure if there is an application you can download. If you want to follow along for right now, and you can search in the App Store for HTML, but it's probably just going to give you a reference manual. I will say that practiceboard.com is going to let you do this. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to access that on your iPad, but Maya, I'm not entirely positive at this moment. All right, I'm going to put your hands down. Does anyone need more time? Remember, if you are have access, to a web browser, but you can't get Text Edit, you can't get Notepad open, you can go here, and it's going to allow you to write in HTML, and your HTML code will be posted below. And this is practiceboard.com. All right, Caitlin, do you have a question? Put your hand down if you don't have a question. If not, I'm going to call on you. Oh, that was pretty fast. Okay, you're just ready to go? So basically, HTML is just typing. We're going to learn in just a second to explain more of what it is, but it's typing with a special way where you're flagging certain words so that they appear a certain way on the screen. And so you can do things like add images and reference other files and other web pages. Okay, so we're going to move forward. Again, practiceboard.com. And go ahead, Maya, let me know if you're able to use that on your iPad. And while I give people a chance to try some stuff out, I will let you know if I find something, because I have an iPad too, so I'll look at my iPad for you. Okay, so I'm opening a new document and text edit, and it looks kind of like this. And what does text edit do? Well, you can type in here. Hello. Now your text edit or your notepad is going to look a little different. It's probably going to look like this. It has these menu bars up here. And this is more like how Microsoft Word or Pages works, where you can change the font, you can make things bigger. This is called rich text because you can affect the font. Oh, wonderful, Maya. So Maya and anyone else using the online HTML, just hang out for a second because you're not going to have to do this step. We don't want rich text. We want plain text, which is just, it has no extra information for the computer. It's just the letters. Okay, so we're going to go into Format up in your top bar here. And you want to say Make Plain Text. Convert this document to plain text. And you should see no more menus like that. No more formatting menus. So let me show you what that looks like on the slides here. Convert to plain text. And Windows people, I believe that yours is already converted to plain text. You shouldn't have any formatting. Do I have a brave soul on a Windows that is using Notepad right now that wouldn't mind raising their hand and telling me just to make sure? Hey, Ella. Ella, I'm going to call on you. Hi, Ella. I haven't used a Windows machine in a while. Is this what your screen looks like?
I don't know if it's in plain text or not. It just like looks regular, I guess.
Okay. Do you see any menu bars that would allow you to change the font?
Yes. In the format it says font, but it doesn't like say convert to normal text or whatever.
There's no, okay. So Ella, there's a way where I can look at your screen, but the rest of the class will be able to look at your screen too. Would that be okay? So I can see if it is in the text? Okay. I'm going to turn that on right now. All right?
Okay.
Okay. Let's see how I can do this. Hold on. Let me remember for a second here. Okay. Oh, that's kind of cool. All right, Ella, it should be showing your screen.
Okay.
Great. Okay. And Ella, would you mind on the screen up and to the right, you should be able to see something that says Give Keyboard and Mouse. Would you mind giving me the mouse?
Yes.
Okay. It'll be Tom Dubik. Okay, I'm just going to check to see what the file type is that's saving.
Okay.
That's all. And then you can have your mouse back. All right, so this is a .txt. That means it's a simple text. So if you're working with a Windows, you can go ahead and take the mouse back. Thank you very much for that. If you're using a Windows machine, then yours should be in just simple text format. You don't need to turn that off. All right, thank you.
Okay.
I'm going to take the screen back. And okay, and I'm going to go ahead and mute you again, Ella. Where are you?
Okay.
Oh, you're a panelist now, so you're up top. Okay, thank you. All right, so we're going to move forward. Let's see if there are any questions. All right, let's go up here. So everyone now should either, if you're using a Mac, you should have gotten rid of, you should have made it plain text, not rich text. And if you're using a Windows, you're already a step ahead. If you're using HTML practice, you're good to go. Okay. All right, so HTML, and people were kind of asking about this. It's plain text. It's just like typing when someone said that, except when you're typing, you're adding these special kinds of information that a computer program is going to be able to identify and use. So you really don't need any fancy tools. All you need is the text edit or Notepad, and those all come free on your computer. Even if you're using like a Linux machine, you'll still have one. This is a funny picture. It's time to actually learn. I'm sure many of you are falling asleep at your keyboards, wondering when this lecture is going to be over. Let's get going. Okay, so HTML is structured with these quote-unquote discrete keywords, and we're going to call them tags from now on. These are like the little red flags for your software to pick out. So the vast majority of tags come in pairs. There's going to be an opening tag and a closing tag. Some are standalone, and we'll look at those, but the vast majority have an opening tag, like the one showed here on top, and a closing tag, like the one showed here on bottom. The contents you put between them, and we're going to see how that works. Yes, if you're using Practice Board, that is A-OK. I have a Windows, Anna, that is A-OK. Your text should be plain text, just Mac was trying to be fancy with their text edit. I don't know why. Okay. So here's an example of a paired tag. You have the starting tag, and then you have the closing tag. And if you notice that there is this forward slash, raise your hand if you can find the forward slash on your keyboard. This might seem like a silly question to some of you, but if you've never had to use it before, you might not know where it is. I'll give you a hint. It's right next to your shift key. It's the one under the question mark. Great, great, okay. So that's gonna let the computer software know that anything between these two markers, the start and the end, fits into this category. There are such things as unpaired tags. They're not as common, but for example, you could write a comment. This is like you are writing something that you don't want the computer program you don't want to be visible actually when your web page loads. And we'll take a look at that a little bit later. It's a little confusing, but we'll take a look at that in a little bit, why you would use a comment and how a comment works. No, okay, and someone asked this one here, the greater than sign, not the greater than sign, the forward slash. See how the opening tag does not have a forward slash, but the closing tag does have this forward slash. Oh, good. You can think about it as like a little like breaks or something like that when you're stopping. All right, we are going to type this out together. Everyone, even if you're using the practice, we're going to type this out. This is the bare bones for a web page. This is what you need. I'm going to move this over here. And I'm going to start typing. And I'm just taking my time, typing everything exactly as I see it. I'm going to see if this works in our HTML practice. Let's see here. This is going to get good. Okay, that does work. That you can type all that in there. All right, raise your hand if you need a little bit more time to type this out. All right, no worries. If not, if you're done, just hang out for a little bit. We'll let everyone catch up. I'm gonna log into my Edmodo because I have a joke that I posted earlier. I want to make sure you guys get to see the punchline for. Oh goodness. Azelle, I'm glad you could join us. Wonderful. Okay, Azelle, here's what I'm going to ask. There's going to be the recorded version that you're going to have access to. In that one, we kind of go, you can see, we go through, you can open up either text edit or notepad, depending on if you're using a Mac or a Windows. Just for simplicity's sake, I'm going to send you this website that's going to let you do all your HTML online, but that way we don't have to worry about setting you up with the right formatting and everything like that. So you're going to type, and we're making our own web pages right now. So don't, after this is over, you can go back and look how I'm doing it right now in a piece of software called either TextEdit or Notepad. But currently, you can kind of join along. And I'm even going to send you the text. So I just sent it in a comment so you can copy paste. Oh, I heard someone say, I put the HTML thing into the website and nothing happened. Well, that's a little bit of a spoiler, Anna. But that's right. Nothing has happened yet that the viewer can see, that the viewer knows. But a lot of really important spoiler, a lot of really important information is happening right now. So if you're still, looks like my recording went in and out. If you're still typing, don't worry. I'm going to talk a little bit about what these pieces mean, and then we're going to keep going. So, okay. Where are we? I'm going to explain first, and then we'll see what happens. If you guys could do me a favor and raise your hand and keep it raised as soon as you're finished typing. Oh, you can't type if you can't see what it is, so it's still over here on the side. So raise your hand and keep it raised when you're ready to continue. All right, so our first line is letting the software know that, yes, we are typing in HTML. You should be able to recognize the tags below. And actually, HTML5 to be specific. Then, this is a single tag. Note, it does not have an ending tag. This is irregular. Now, here is an HTML tag, and this is just how every HTML starts and ends. You're going to have the HTML right below this line, and then this bottom closing HTML tag here. Note that /. Now, we have these two pairs here. One says head, and one says body, and that's kind of goofy. But head is where you type a lot of important document info, like the title and style and things like that, the kind of the preferences and behind the scenes stuff that your website is going to have, that your web page, I should say, will have. The body is going to have most of the quote-unquote meat of your document. It's going to have all of your content, your words, your photos. So, okay, great. I see a lot of raised hands. Now, Zell, I know you might be... It's not letting me raise my hand. Oh, Ella, I see your hand is raised. Or Ella, I don't see you anymore. Oh, you're up here. You can't raise your hand because you're a panelist. Sorry about that. Okay, yes. So I see people are saying, hey, it's not showing me anything if you're using the online thing. And Adele, you should just be able to paste that into here. So let's take a look. Everyone seems ready to go. I'm going to put everyone's hands down. If you're using the HTML practice and you hit CHTML, you don't see anything below. You didn't do anything wrong. That's actually correct. And let's take a look at why. You don't have any content for your website yet. All you're saying right now is this is a web page. So our next step is to add content. But before we do that, if you're using text edit or you're using Notepad, we're going to save our file. So follow me along here. File. And this is the same on a Windows. Save. That's fine. I want to save to my desktop or somewhere where I will be able to find that file again because we're about to use it. And I'm going to save it as my first web page. Or for some of my coders out there who've made a Hello World program, maybe Hello Web. The name doesn't matter a lot. The file name, because your users aren't going to be able to see it. What's a panelist? It means that if you remember earlier on, I looked at Ella's screen and everyone could see Ella's screen. That made her a panelist. It's just quote unquote. It's the language that GoToWebinar uses. Mine is not showing either. Caitlin, that is normal. That means everything is working well. And I promise you, if it doesn't entirely make sense right now, it will make sense soon. All right. So, and we want it to be a .txt file. Okay. We're going to hit save. And if I look at my desktop, my file is there. I can look at my desktop this way. My file is there. And I can just right-click it and open with any of my web browsers. I'm going to open with Google Chrome. And that did not work. Why did that not work? Uh-oh. Oh, not a .txt file, of course. We need to save this as a .html file. I'm sorry. Let's go back to text edit, everyone. I've messed this up. Go into File, Rename, or File Save As, .html. That's the kind of file we're using. All right, and you can see my icon change. So again, File, Rename, or File, Save As. And don't save it as a .txt. You want to save it as a .html. Now I think I've confused it because it has too many extensions. And now if I open it, it opens to a blank page. Hi, Azelle. What's up? What's going on?
I can't find the file save.
Are you using this?
Yeah, I'm on that.
Yeah, that there won't be a file save. All you'll click is the CHTML. And nothing happens. That's okay.
Okay.
Because we don't have any content yet. But we're about to add content. So I see many people are saying, hey, I don't understand. I don't what it means by tag. Ingrid we'll do a review of tags in just a second. How do I save mine? You can't save it. You just hit CHTML. Okay. It's actually much easier to do on the web because you don't have to go through the save step. Raise your hand if you're having trouble saving your file. You're not using Practice Board, you're using Text Edit or Notepad, and you're having trouble saving and opening your file. Raise your hand for me. Hi, Callie. Can I help you? What step are you on? Maybe you don't want to talk. All right, let me go through how it works again. You have your file open. File, Save or Save As, or Rename. Let's do that. Let me start with a new one so that I can show you how you save it for the first time. Okay, I have this untitled, never been saved before. File, Save. I know where I'm saving my file, so I will be able to open it. And here we go. We have hello, or my first web page .html. This is an extension. It lets the computer know what kind of file that it is, like a .doc. Or if you've used PowerPoint, .ppt for PowerPoint. Special kind of file. And then you hit Save. Now, here, this pop-up came. We don't want to use .txt. We want it to be an HTML file. So I'm going to click Use HTML. And then my first web page is on my desktop. And there we go. And nothing happened. I know that the page is empty. It's very misleading. It's not saving as an HTML. So you cannot save it on Practice Board. That is true. Okay, if you're having trouble saving, what we're going to do is we're going to add content, and then so that way everyone can kind of move forward, and I will work individually with those that are having trouble. Okay? Let's do that because it'll give you guys a chance to type, and then individually Ella and Annika and Callie, I will work with you individually to try to figure out what's going on and give you some help. So if you're working in here, you're not saving, it's okay. But you're still typing, and you're going to be able to actually see some of your HTML now. All right. So again, the head tags, and these tags, right, are referring to kind of this piece right here, and this one right here, the opening and the closing tag. The tag are what are in these brackets, in these less than and greater than signs. The head tag is going to save information like the font you're using or the background color you want, or program like scripts that you have on your web page. For now, we're going to add a title, and we're going to do that within tags. So we'll have the opening tag that says title, and you guys can go ahead and type this now. And then your title, and I want you to type it exactly like you see here. And then the closing title tag. But I want you to change the actual content that's going to be there. Good. Someone fixed their problem? Good. All right. So let's take a look at this. I'm going to move this over to the side and type it out. I have my opening head tag and my closing head tag. So I'm going to put my mouse right there, and I'm going to hit enter so that I'm typing in between them. Because that's how this works. We nest the content between two tags. And I'm going to go ahead and type title, which is my opening tag. And just so that I don't forget, I'm going to go ahead and make my closing tag as well. So the less than sign, front slash, title. These are a pair, my opening tag and my closing tag. And in between them, I can write what I want the title of my web page to be. And mine is going to say Hello Web. Now, I'm going to put your hands down. Raise your hand if you're still having trouble saving. Oh, Ella, you can't raise your hand. Caitlin, that's a-okay. Because if you're still typing, you know, my web code, all of it's still going to be there. So don't worry. Ella, I'm going to unmute you. Ella, are you still having trouble saving your file?
It's not saving as an HTML, but it says it's saving as a TXT.
Okay. Can you go up here and you go to File? Is there a Save As option?
Yes.
Okay. Do you mind if I look at your screen again?
Sure.
Okay. Okay.
Right here.
That's great. Okay. All right. So go to File, Save As.
It says right there the TXT part.
Okay. So click that Save As type, that drop down. Yeah. And try all files.
Okay.
Okay. And then type out the extension. All right. I want you to do something for me. I want you to name it, yes, but I want you to name it all one without any spaces and without an apostrophe. I should have gone over that. Okay. Now hit save. And take a look at your desktop to make sure.
Okay. Wait, how do I? Okay.
Okay, go to your file manager. It's next to the Amazon link on your bottom bar. Oh, there we go.
Oh, like,
Okay.
there's two different ones.
Will you hover over it? That's a file. Will you scroll down here.
Oh, this one's an HTML.
Okay, double click.
Okay.
It's awesome. Google Chrome.
Okay.
All right, guys, take a look at Ella's website because you'll see that there's nothing still posted. There's no content on the actual page, but it should load in just a second. And where it says loading right now, the loading ... should end up saying that awesome sauce that Ella had in her code. It's still loading though. It might take a little bit. Ella's awesome website. All right, that's fine then. Great. All right, thank you, Ella. I'm going to take this back.
Okay.
All right, so here's the code again. And that's what we're doing right now. We're changing what should show up as the tab. So right now my tab says My First Web, but if I save this and refresh my web page, mine now says whatever in the title. Hello Web. I could change this to Hello Class. And my tab becomes Hello Class. This is the title of your website. Notice that no big font shows up. Okay. Hi, Azelle. What's the question?
When I look at mine, it comes up and it says I can't look at anything. It blocks it.
Oh, did you get it on TextEdit?
Um,
Or are you using this practice board right here?
yeah, I am.
And let's see, title, hello class, title. And if I say CHTML, and is this what happens?
No, when I saved it, once I saved it,
Oh, like file save up here?
yeah,
Okay, you can't actually save this. This is just why we ended up using practice board is some people didn't have access to TextEdit right now. So I wanted you guys to still be able to practice typing with these tags. So all this does is shows you what it would look like. You can't actually save these files.
okay.
Okay, sorry about that. All right. Does anyone else need help? You can type me a question. Whoa, okay. How do I go to my website? All I can do is type HTML. Can't save on practice board. That is correct, Caitlin. I still can't see anything. That is still true, Maya. Anna. Anna Windsor, I'm going to unmute you, okay? Anna, did you see what Ella had to do? All right, I might mute you again. But on Ella's screen, she had to go, and let's see. When she saved, there was a drop down that looked kind of like this. And it said .txt. Anna Windsor, I'm talking directly to you right now, trying to help you out. And she had to save it so that it instead said all files. You know, I don't have that option here. It would be like unclicking this. So that instead of saying .txt from her drop-down menu, it said all files. And then when she had the name of her website, I want it to have no spaces and no punctuation. So maybe web page would be good. Then she actually had to type period HTML. And then she could hit save. And that worked fine. When you're in practice board, don't worry about this step. All right, let's get back to content. And then Anna, if that still doesn't work, I can help with you more one-on-one, okay? We're getting close to seeing things on our website. See, we have our pairs, head and head, title and title. The body page has nearly everything that goes in your web page. So now we're actually going to see some content, folks. And we see there are a lot of different things that we can add here. A header tag, a paragraph tag. We have things that can make your text bold, italics, underline. I'm going through this fast, I know, and strike through. Now, the reason I'm going through this very fast is I want to give you all the opportunity to instead, and this is actually not what I'm, hold on one second. I want you guys to actually get the chance to type instead of to learn them all before we get to type. So bear with me for 1 second as I find the right thing here. We might be past that point. All right, so I want you guys to get the chance to practice this. So we're going to go ahead and take a break from the presentation for a second. So you can either be in HTML practice or you can be in your text edit or notepad. We're between the body tags now. So I'm going to go ahead and put an enter or a space between my opening body tag and my closing body tag. Oh, Anna, you visit your site by right-clicking the file and hitting and clicking open in using Google Chrome or Internet Explorer. Within the body tags, I'm going to add what's called a header tag. This is going to be really big text. So this is what you're going to put at the top of your website, like the title. So it's going to say H1. And we're going to learn this on Monday. But the headers come in different sizes from 1 to 6, and 1 is the biggest. But don't worry about that too much right now. We're just going to type. So H1, and I'm going to type the name of my website. Remember, I have the title up here, but this is just what's in the tab. So I'm going to type, what am I going to type here? My awesome web page. And then, I almost gave it away. What do I need right here? You can type your response. A closing tag. So it's the front slash H1, and that one pairs with this H1 here, with the content between them. And you can see what it ends up looking like. It pops up. And if you're on the HTML practice, again, H1, closing H1, and then whatever you want in your header in between. My awesome site. See the HTML? We finally have some content. So let me bring this up again for you to look at. All right. I'm going to start typing some stuff for you all that I want you to type and kind of experiment with. So this is just like this one that does not have a pair. This BR is a single tag. It does not have a pair. What it does is acts like it acts like you hit the enter or return key. It's just a plain blank line. So there will be a space between my header and what I'm going to type next. And I'm going to put a paragraph. And that's a P. And then I have my end tag with a P. And then in between those, I'm just going to type some content. All right, and I could have another break and another paragraph. Remember, the break is not paired. It's just that one line. I'm going to make sure. Good, that's working. And then I'll have another paragraph. I am so excited about this semester. And I'm going to put my ending tag for that paragraph. Now, what we're going to learn more on Monday is that you can add cool things within your paragraphs. Like, for example, if I wanted my first website to be bold, I could put this B start tag and end tag around the content that I wanted formatted bold. And what will that look like? Well, this is now bold. And if I want this so to be in italics, I can put an I in front and then an end tag of an I behind it so that my content within the two tags will be italicized. So I will leave this up. I just want you guys to be kind of experimenting. How can I change the colors? That's always what I want to know too. That gets a little trickier. You have to put information actually within the front tag, but we'll learn that on Monday. What I want you guys to do right now, based on what we just went over, can you guys see why these are funny? Can anyone tell me what the punchline for these pictures is? Holly, I'm so glad it worked. That's awesome. Good, I'm glad. And I'll go back to the picture for those of you who are typing. Hey, Anna, can you explain the punchline?
They're bold and italics.
Yeah, you put the start tag in front of the cats and at the end. I might be easily amused, but I saw these today and just cracked up. Okay, I'll go back so that you guys can mess around with this. You can add things like a list, which will have bullet points. So I'm typing a lot of content. I know, you don't have to type all of it at all. Do not feel stressed to go fast. You guys are just kind of messing around with it right now. So the way that a list works, you start your list with OL for ordered list or UL for unordered list. We're going to do an ordered list right now. And then you also have separate starting and ending tags for every quote-unquote list item. I like cats. Starting my tag, and then I have my ending tag, and within them I nest my content. Running. My starting tag, my ending tag, and then my content. cooking. Oh my goodness gracious, it's 6:59. I'm going to have to jump off. I have another webinar right after this. How do you change fonts? I would love to know, please. I would love to know. That has to do, Ella, if you look real fast, there's a whole lot you can do with here. I can't remember off the top of my mind. It's like font family. Hold on. Okay. So you do so within the first tag, you put something like this, style equals, and we'll explain how this works. This is adding a whole lot of extra layers, Ella. But then you set color red. And you could do font times. Oh, see, and I messed everything up. Don't do that. That did not work. Oh, that's why. You always got to have your ending tags. That is not why. You know what? We'll look at it, Ella. I'm sorry. You made something. Okay, I've got to go too, guys. How do I get something underlined? U. Josie, it's a U is the first, the tag. Okay. You know what, Ella? Keep your eye out